Life has rules that we constantly follow. But oftentimes, we miss the red flags and go full speed ahead without really thinking of the consequences. The major flaw that some people actually miss when they try to date is that just because someone's showering you with all their love, attention, affection, doesn't really mean that they genuinely care about you. And I know that these shapeshifters can be really scary. And if you are a foreigner and you began dating or marrying a Filipino woman or just other women in general, here are some red flags that you really need to look out for, guys. Hello there, beautiful people. Stephilippines here, and welcome back to my channel, everybody. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about the dark sides of dating or even marrying a Filipino woman. But just a disclaimer, I'm not trying to generalize, okay? But I'm just going to tell you my opinion based on my, observations that I have observed, I have seen, I have heard from TV news, from social medias, from other people's experiences as well. So without further ado, let's get started. It's not a big news that some foreigners actually got deceived by their Filipino partners. And it's just really a shame that there are indecent Filipinas who actually try to take advantage of the foreigners' vulnerability. And you may wonder why foreign men easily develop a feelings for women from the Philippines. Well, honestly, I'm gonna tell you this, guys. So let's just be real here, okay? I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but we Filipinas actually, we tend to really care a lot of our partners, our boyfriend, our husband, or anyone that we genuinely care of. And we have a warm and loving nature that can really make you feel like you are the most special person in our lives. However, having these characteristics also becomes the perfect recipe for some deceitful women who tries to manipulate their foreign partners, especially the older foreigners. So months into serious dating or even after getting engaged or married, you may notice a subtle to lurid changes in your partner's behavior. And there you go, guys. Get the sweet and loving wife and say hello to evil. So what are these changes? Oh, you know what? Let's open those eyes that are actually, unfortunately, blinded by love, if that's what you want to call it. So welcome to the very, very, very dark side of dating or marrying a Filipina woman. First one is that they will treat you like a moneymaker or a personal bank account. Well, generally speaking, people from Western countries are seen as rich men when they go to the Philippines. To some Filipino women who exploit foreigners, they actually think that being in a relationship with foreigners is like hitting a jackpot or winning a house and lot or a lotto. At first, they would softly hint about liking material things. Then later on, they will have grown the spine to blatantly demand for them as your relationship goes deeper and intimate. If this rings a bell to you, then I'm telling you, you should run. Like R-U-N, run. Well, this doesn't actually really apply to material things. If they are really shameless, they may ask for money instead. So yes, that's the first red flag that you also need to look out for, that you can really notice the dark side of Filipina after dating or marrying them. Okay, so now let's go to other thing, which is she would shame you in public or she would embarrass you in public. And guys, I'm gonna tell you that we Filipino loves to joke around, but not to the point that we're going to embarrass you like you are bare and naked. So if your Filipino woman insults you or shouts at you in front of strangers or in front of other people as if you are her servant, then you really have to be extra careful, and please do not tolerate that kind of manipulation or disrespect. Imagine verbal abuse is one thing that she's capable of. and then you wouldn't want to subject yourself to a domestic one, right? But unfortunately, whether you're in the Philippines or any other countries, men being physically and verbally abused is often overlooked, actually. So, I just feel really sad, and it's really a shame that there are some Filipinas who would resort to violence and can easily turn the tables as if they are the victims. So let's go to the next one, is that if she treats other people badly. Okay, so guys, if you want to dodge a bullet early on, then you better observe how she treats other people first. Well, she may be sweet to you, but she interacts horribly with other people, especially to those in the service industry, like a maid, housekeeper. So usually Filipino women are actually very courteous and very patient. And also they are very understanding, and they will do their best to not pressure the other people surrounding them. But if your partner easily smirks and rolls her eyes at everyone who she thinks is lower than her status, then it's probably time to rethink if she is worth, or if it's really worth to date her. And also, if she only brags about the material things that you bought for her to everyone that she meets. And then, unfortunately, bragging may seem like a way to show off, like how proud they are of what you're capable of as her boyfriend, as her husband. But if she only brags about those luxurious bags, five-star hotels, or any fancy dining dates that you let her experience with her, then I think it's, I mean, don't you find that a little bit sketchy? Because to be honest, if your woman only talks about like you are her sugar daddy and not her life partner, or she's likely only after what you can give to her and not really completely all in your serious relationship, then I'm gonna tell you this: she is a gold digger. She's a gold digger in a broad daylight. And yeah, these are just few of the many schemes actually that some Filipino women may try to use you or to manipulate you. However, everyone, again, just a disclaimer, let me clarify things to you that this doesn't just apply to us Filipinas, and I'm not trying to generalize. Okay? And honestly, you may even encounter it to other races, even in your own. So how do you steer clear of these kinds of women? And the next one, guys, the piece of advice that I could give you is to get to know more about your Filipino women. Because being a little extra careful about who you are going to date and marry is a must. Okay, so do not get swindled by their sweat gestures or words, or, their beauty. Learn to detect as well if they have really like ill intentions. So if you are still lost on how to really check for this kind of red flags from Filipino women, so you have to pause this video and watch it again. And also, guys, you need to learn how to set your boundaries. Okay, because if a woman loves you, she won't just be there for what you have and what you can give. And also, do not go all out. Okay, so some of you foreigners may see like a gift giving as your love language, like act of service. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. However, guys, you have to remember as well that giving too much is often the problem of why some of you have your bank accounts run dry already. So instead of showering your newly found flame with everything you could give, try setting limit first. Well, I'm not saying that you should deprive her of the things that you would love to do for her, but just try to start with something small. Trust me, guys. If the Filipina is really into you, no matter how inexpensive, how cheap that gift is, how cheap that food is, then she would really appreciate it, because we Filipinas are known to be appreciative and we are very sentimental people. So if the Filipina you're talking to and then you're trying to give her like inexpensive things, cheap bags or anything like that, cheap things, cheap foods or whatever is that, and she doesn't really appreciate that, or she is not really thankful of you, then yeah, you have to really observe that. You have to notice that, and you have to take down notes if she's worth it. Okay, so let's go now to the next one, which is, guys, you have to observe how she will speak about you. Okay, because one thing that we Filipinas would love to do is we tell people how our loved ones treat as well. And it's not the kind wherein we would we would compute everything you spend for us, but rather the time and effort that you exerted just to be with us. And that's something that we would really appreciate. And if a Filipino really loves you, then she would see money as a minuscule part of your relationship. And to her, what matters is the number of times that you've been there for her through tough times, bad times, good times, or whatever time is that. So do this and you will certainly receive the same treatment, if not better. Okay, so guys, we are about to leave this discussion behind, but before we do, here's a gentle reminder or a friendly reminder, guys, that not all Filipino women see foreigners as money makers or sugar daddy. Okay? Well, honestly, there might be some who would actually do anything just to get themselves out of poverty, but this doesn't represent all of us living in the Philippines, okay? But I am just trying to talk about this topic for you as well to be aware of what could possibly the dark sides or the red flags that you're gonna be experiencing after you're going to date or marry a Filipina. So you really have to be very careful and be mindful of who you're going to spend your time, if she is worth to be part of your life, if she is worth to be your person. And everybody, feel free to share some of your remarkable experience with your partner, with your Filipino partner to be specific. And hey, do not be shy because we're open to the good and the bad ones or the bad experiences. So feel free to comment down below if what are your bad experience with your Filipina girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, or whatever is that after dating or marrying her.